There's a running theme where when people are running for president under one nomination, people of the opposite ideology try to make every one of those candidates seem to be the exact same, no matter what differences they have. So, in a subversion of that last time around, I had given Rand Paul credit for being the only anti-war Republican who was running unabashedly on being anti-war. But that kind of honesty and level of just being it, because I said before, choosing to always back one side kills people's ability to just let themselves look at stuff objectively. Now, whether you like Yang or not, and this is the part of this article we're going to use for this, he is the only candidate who's running on UBI. He's one of a couple of candidates who are, anti-war. You get the idea. There's certain stuff that other ones aren't doing, and there's one thing in particular the other ones aren't doing. So imagine my surprise when I read an article that sits here and it in an accurate way trashes most of these Democratic candidates. And you get down here and it says, let me read this first. Later, the former Veep went even further. Any man in prison who is born with the you-know-what now decides he is a woman shall have the right to serve time in a woman's prison. Q. Klinger on MASH. In this field, Andrew Yang offers a bit of hope. He is an entrepreneur rather than a politician. He understands tech, and he speaks to voters on an adult level. Yet Mr. Yang wants to hand out $1,000 a month to every man, woman, child, and they in the land. This handout would legitimize laziness and cost almost $4 trillion a year on top of the current $4.7 trillion annual federal spending. Such craziness. No wonder why I may vote for Trump again in 2020. The Dems give me no other rational choice, and when you can make Mr. Trump look rational, you have gone way too far. So this Dennis Keenil person, whatever his last name is, literally just smeared Yang in a single sentence. Now, what has Yang said about UBI? That it goes to people who are adults, that are 18 and over. So, with that being a fact, something that he has stated himself, how in the hell can you say that he wants to give $1,000 a month to every man, woman, child, and they in the land? Now, also on top of that, Yang himself has admitted that the $1,000 a month is not going to radically change people's lives, but the extra $12,000 a year will assist with additional expenses and whatnot. You are trying to get me to believe that somehow is going to make all these people who, in some cases, have apartments that cost $2,000 a month, over $1,000, that it's going to make them lazy. They're just going to go from being these very productive workers. And we've been over the fact that while wages have been stagnant for the last 40 years, the productivity of workers has gone up. They're working the most they've ever, for literally as much as they got in the 70s and 80s. So I just don't understand. And look, what I'm planning on doing, because I know the statistics of these states, I'm going to see how many people are in the age demographic of 18 and up in each state, and then multiply 12,000 by each one of those, by that number, and then see what the how much that would cost over the course of a year for each state. Because like I said, when you think of us having millions of people and them all getting thousands of dollars, you go, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. But think about it, we have millions of people, right? Over I believe it's 300 million, and we spent 700 billion on the military this year and last year. But I'm supposed to believe that we don't have the money. And it's like the guy just, they write this stuff and they actually think in their heads, this makes sense. Yes, if you give people a little bit more money on top of them already going to work so they can afford their stuff a little bit better, everyone's going to get lazy. As I said before, there are people who will misuse it. There are people who won't save it. But, I mean, what? You aren't rich because you bought a cell phone or a pair of shoes? So, it is what it is, man. The smears continue.